Stanley was really quite involved, quite passionate about photography. As Stanley, you must understand, was, by the general lights of the time, the son of a wealthy person, as they had their own home. And they could have a dark room. And his father was interested in photography, and I think he encouraged Stanley to use the darkroom and to become a photographer. That darkroom background actually was one of the bedrock things that enabled him to develop a very high level of sophistication about photography and then finally cinematography.
Stanley was fascinated by photography. He was the photographer on the school newspaper and was constantly on the lookout for pictures that would capture the imagination.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special news bulletin. A press association has just announced that President Roosevelt is dead.
Roosevelt was a god to us. That's what my mother said. She said, I'm not sure there's a God, when he died. And then when he took that picture, whoa. It just made everybody that saw it would cry. They'd just start to cry. He looked like just the world had ended. And Stanley just got that.
It was this photograph of a news vendor mourning the death of President Roosevelt that transformed the amateur into a professional. Stanley was just 16 when he sold this picture to Look, one of America's great illustrated magazines. When he graduated high school, he joined Look as a staff photographer, taking thousands of pictures, perpetually experimenting and gaining valuable experience for the next stage of his career. Kubrick shot several features on boxing for Look. One on the rising young fighter, Walter Cartier. Passionate about the sport, he realized he had found the subject for his first film.